Although all of us would love to only experience things that we actually like and that we enjoy and that we would like to feel more of, this is not the case. One of the fundamental truths about life is that there is no only good and no only bad. Life in itself is a mixture of both. It's a yin and yang, basically, right? The good gets completed with the bad, and the bad gets completed with the good. And you can come to the same conclusion just from your own experiences. Like right now in your mind, think about all of the great moments you've had in your life. All of the beautiful things that you've went through. All of the beautiful memories that you've created with the people that you love. And now think about all of the miserable and bad parts of your life. All of the bad memories that came even from the people that you made all of those beautiful memories with, all those people that you love. Most of the time you have good and bad memories with the same person. I mean, think about your mom. You love your mom, don't you? Like, I love my mother. She's a beautiful human being. She cares so much for me and I care so much for her. She sacrificed so much of her time and so much of her life just to raise me, just to make me the person who I am today. But I will always still have some sort of bad memories with her in my mind. When we argued about something, when she told me something that I wasn't allowed to do when I was younger and I just got pissed off. You will always have good and bad memories, no matter what you want to do. Like, you'll never only have bad memories with a person, because there will always be nicer things about them, but you just don't want to look at them. You just don't want to acknowledge the fact that these things exist. So, for example, if I were to think about the people in my life that have bullied me up until like 2 years ago or something like that, which I literally ended up having nightmares about, people which gave me some level of degree of trauma that has been very difficult for me to overcome, right? I still have good memories with those people to some extent. I still laughed with them sometimes. I still felt good to some extent being around them. But that doesn't mean that they haven't bullied me. That doesn't mean that they haven't done all of these horrible things, right? But this just goes to show that whoever you might think about, whoever you might take, whatever part of life you might think about in itself has both good and bad, right? Both yin and the yang. And they complete each other. That's just the way life is, man. And if you were to not be ignorant about this, like I have been so many damn times, when I told myself, oh, I'm not gonna learn anything from bad experiences. I haven't learned anything from the people that bully me. I've only just gotten like more scared of people. I've only gotten more scared of actually opening myself up to people. I've only gotten more scared of standing up for myself. Oh, these people, they ruin my life, bro. Like, it's so easy to say that about something, about someone, right? But it's much harder to acknowledge the fact that there might have been something good coming out of it. There has been a lot of growth that came out of that thing. I mean, thinking about all of the times that I've been bullied, thinking about that horrible episode of my life, sometimes I feel overwhelmed by bad memories, for sure. I feel bad, I feel miserable just thinking about these things. But at the same time, I realize, man, if it weren't for these things, I wouldn't be here, in the best shape of my life. Disciplined as hell, pushing forward and doing things that I would have never thought I'd been capable of, building better relationships with my family, with the people that I love. If it weren't for those horrible experiences, that horrible episode in itself of my life, I wouldn't be here. There is so much growth that can come out of any kind of experience that you have. But if you let your ignorance overtake that, if you let your ignorance just say, oh no, it doesn't, no. There's no growth that came out of this episode. There's no growth that came out of having this argument with my family. There's no growth that came out of being with this stupid girl that was just only a degenerate. No, bro, there is so much growth and you know it, man. You just don't want to admit it. You don't want to admit the fact that maybe you've been thinking about this in the wrong way, that you've been taking this the wrong way. And maybe this is the reason why you cannot both physically and mentally get past these experiences, these bad experiences that you've had in your past. Up until the point when I realized that I have grown so much from all of the times when I've been bullied, all of the times when my self-confidence was at its lowest, when I was literally shaking like hell, my heart was beating out of my chest, when I would just literally open the class door to enter my classroom, right? Knowing that I would get bullied again and that nobody would care about me. Like, it was so easy to just say, oh, all of that was miserable, right? And to never get past it, to always have this remorse in my mind, all this resentment, all this hatred, just consuming me slowly but surely, right? It's much more convenient to do that, but once I realized that, man, I've just been ignorant, right? I've grown so much from all of these kinds of experiences, even if I do not want to admit it. And once I truly admitted that, once I truly realized that, so many of those memories that just came up in my mind all the time, making me feel bad, making my mental health significantly worse, they slowly but surely went away. A few days ago, I was out with some friends and we were walking down the alley in the park, right? And guess who I see? I see one of those guys that bullied me like 2 or 3 years ago, relentlessly, right? One of the guys that I used to literally dream about and wake up in the morning feeling miserable, right? I saw that person on the street just walking towards me. And guess what I did, man? I just looked in the other way. That was it. I walked past that person. And for the rest of that entire day, I'm telling you, man, I did not have any extra thoughts about that person. I just could not care less. And why is that? Considering that if I wouldn't have gone past these things, if you were to take my younger self and put me in the same experience that I had a few days ago, he would be shaking out of his limbs. He would be scared out of his mind. He would literally just turn back just not to face that person. So what changed? Let me tell you, it was the fact that I understood and that I admitted to myself that there was growth that came out of this. That I somewhat had like a glimmer, a seed of gratitude for the fact that it happened. I'm not telling you that you have to completely forgive everybody that did you wrong and completely be fine with all of the experiences in your life that led you to this point. No, but maybe if you can find like a glimmer of hope, a glimmer of gratitude in all of these bad moments, then you can move forward. Then you can realize that you have grown so much from these things and that you can learn so many more new things that you have not been able to learn just because of your own ignorance. Another few examples of this. 2 days ago, I went to this 5-kilometer run that was organized by some university around in town, right? And it was like a 5-kilometer run around the park where like a bunch of people will come. There were like 200 people went for that 5-kilometer run. And I had the balls and I had the confidence to just say, you know what, I'm gonna overtake all of these guys. Considering that there were like professionals in there, like people that were running marathons, that were literally training for like 5-kilometer runs for speed. And I was there, thinking to myself, well, yeah, you know what? I don't care about all these people, bro. I'm going to overtake them. I went there all confident. I did my stretching, my warm-up session, and I was just there, I was ready to run. And guess what happens? The run starts, and like 10 minutes later, I've been overtaken by like 20 people. I got like 78th place out of like 200 something people. 78th. And I made all of that stuff in my mind. Oh, I'm gonna be number one, bro. Like, I'm gonna beat all of these guys. Yeah, just because I'm so much harder than them. I mean, just look how hard I've worked in the past and look how disciplined I am. Yeah, I'm gonna overtake these guys. The power of the mind. Yeah, whatever. 78th out of like 200. This experience, if I were to just completely forget it and be ignorant about it, like just completely get rid of it from my mind, being like, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen, just keep that away. I realized, hey, this is a good experience because it showed me that I shouldn't be so damn prideful and not speak out of my ass. I learned that I should be more modest when it comes to these things. That I should have like different kinds of expectations when I think about like a 5-kilometer run around the park where you're gonna be facing like professional athletes. Another interesting experience was yesterday when from like 3 p.m. up until like 12 a.m. at night, I stood outside like a little concert and I literally sold beer, bro. I sold beer for money. Like some guys, they needed my help and I was just there and I was just like pouring beer out in like some stupid plastic cups, right? I was doing that for hours and hours on end. My back was hurting like hell. I was tired out of my mind. I was almost like falling asleep on my own head. There were like plenty of my classmates there just rolling around and looking at me and like smiling. Just, what is that guy doing there selling beer? I could easily just forget about that entire experience and say, yeah, it doesn't do well for my image, of like the self-improvement guy that goes to sleep early. That doesn't have anything to do with like these degenerate places. Bro, I went and I sold beer, right? I literally did that for like 3 hours, just pouring cups and cups of beer. In plastic cups, by the way, plastic. But yet I still did it, right? And it would be so easy to just not talk about it whatsoever. But bro, I learned some interesting stuff about it. Like, I learned so much more about social confidence. I learned so much more about the fact that, hey, if you talk to people, you're not gonna like suddenly implode and die. And that is like quite a big achievement, isn't it? Because most of us, bro, we're scared of people, bro. I was scared out of my mind when I first started. Like at 3 p.m. when I got there and I was ready to like get the job started, I was scared out of my mind. I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? I was thinking like so many damn things in my mind. Up until the point where I was just pouring beer, I was giving it to people, I was taking money, I was putting it away, I was talking to people, I was laughing, I was making jokes and everything. I was asking people what they wanted, whatever. Bro, I literally completely got rid of any kind of social anxiety that I had and replaced it with confidence. And this just proves that like nothing bad happens when you talk to people, bro. Like you're not gonna suddenly implode and die and disappear from the earth. So yeah, I hope that this video somewhat helped you out, man. It's just some of my past experiences that I've talked about. But I really think that it matters so much that we know that we can grow so much from experiences that we don't necessarily like. You can subscribe to my self-improvement YouTube channel where I've been making self-improvement YouTube videos for more than a year now. You can like this video, you can share this video with other people who you think will also be able to gain some value from this. you can join my self-improvement Discord server. There will be a link to that in the description. And if you want to go on a free self-improvement one-to-one coaching call with me where we can talk about anything self-improvement related for free, then all you have to do is you have to click the Calendly link in the description of this video. So yeah, man, don't let your ignorance just completely overtake your mind and just make you think that you cannot learn interesting things from bad experiences. Keep your mind open. Good luck, man. I'll see you next time.